Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to have a look at a quick analysis of Game 5 from the World Chess Championship in 2024. So this game is played in Singapore between Gukesh Damanaraju versus Ding Liren. Here, Gukesh has the white pieces, so he plays e4, and then here Ding surprises again with the French. This is the second time he plays the French defense in the World Chess Championship. So after d4, d5, we have an exchange French. So the exchange variation of the French. And then we have knight f3, knight c6, and we have bishop d3, c5, c3, and c4. Black gets some space in the queen side, and then the bishop moves to c2. The top game in this position is played between Hikaru Nakamura and Nijad Abbas Abazovu in April this year. So here, after bishop d6, queen check was given, the queen defends, and the queens are now exchanged. Queens are off the board, white castles, rook e8, and then another check. After the king moves, the rooks are exchanged. So already in move 12, we have seen two major pieces have been exchanged. So bishop g5, the knight is defended by knight to d7, knight b d2, and then h6 is played, attacking the bishop. Bishop moves, and then knight h5. The whole idea is to bring the knight to the f4 square. Rook e1 check, the king moves away, and then we have this interesting move, g4. Now at this point, I was watching this game live, and then I hope for some sort of a kingside attack from Gukesh, if there was any preparation in that. So knight f4 was played. The whole idea was to bring the knight to f4. Bishop g3, it now pins the knight. The whole idea bringing the knight to f4 is to bring the knight to d3. That's the whole main objective of that. But as of now, the knight is pinned. So knight b6, the pawn goes to g5. Now there is an interesting idea here. If, for example, knight h3 would have been played, then we have king g2, and then here after the exchange of bishops, you have this intermediate move, g takes h6, and as you can see, the pawn on h6 is a threatening pawn. For example, after g takes h6, we can take the bishop with the h pawn, and now white has a very good position, some sort of an advantage. So Ding didn't want to allow that, so he took the pawn, and then after the knight took the pawn, then we have bishop d7, knight g to f3. The whole idea is to bring the knight to e5, and then rook e8 was played. Now the whole idea was to bring the knight to e5, and this knight on f4 is attacked. First a trade of minor pieces, and after that the knight goes to d3. Here white simply takes that knight, and as you can see, and now black has a pass pawn on d3 with just 2 squares away from promotion. f3 was played, knight c4, and the trade of knights here, and now black officially has a protected pass pawn. Now this is some sort of an advantage for black, and if someone wants to play for a win, it's gonna be Ding, who has the black pieces from here on to go on for a win. So knight rook e4 was played, attacking c4, and then bishop c6 was played, and things started to neutralize after this. Now an interesting analysis by Hikaru Nakamura, he brought out this move, rook c8. This is a very interesting move and gets a good advantage for black. So the idea is, if for example rook d4 was played, attacking the bishop, the bishop simply moves to e6, and after the king comes to f2, you have this rook lift to c5. The whole idea is now a5 and b5 squares are available for the rook, and for example if you have a random move like h3 for white, then you simply go and attack the first pawn on rook to a5, and after pawn moves there, then you go to rook b5, and if the pawn moves here, then you say have an en passant, and now the black's pawn on b3 is not preventable from queening. So that was the idea that rook c8 brought in. But unfortunately, in this instance, Ding actually played bishop c6, attacking the rook. The rook first moves to d4, and after the pawn is taken, the king goes and attacks the bishop. The bishop moves again, and then here is where Gukesh takes the c4 pawn. Now rook d8 was played, and Gukesh offers a trade of rooks, and the trade of rooks happened, and now onwards it's apparent that this is going to be a drawish endgame because we have two opposite colored bishops, and the games continued with bishop d5, b3, and then the king moves forward, king e3, king e6, and the pawn was taken here. So you might objectively think white has an extra pawn on h2, but with opposite colored bishops, this is it's very hard to win these kinds of games. The game continued with g6, king c3, after a6, king d3, and then moves were repeated, and after that this game ended up in a draw in move 40. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and it's bye for now.